Hi, and welcome to Pictures of Paradise. This is a show which is artist's conception of heaven and the heavenly city, New Jerusalem, that it talks about in the Holy Bible. Well, in the Bible, it talks about a city that is made out of pure gold. And it tells you the measurements right here. It says, he measured the city with the reed, 12,000 furlongs. That's 1,500 miles in modern English. The length and the breadth and the height of it are equal. And the building of the wall was of jasper, and the city was pure gold, like into clear glass. So it's pure gold, and yet it's see-through, like clear glass, even purer than any of the gold in the world at the moment. Of course, in the Bible it does say, it is written that eye hath not seen, nor ear heard, neither hath it entered into the heart of man the things that God hath prepared for them that love him. But he hath revealed, it says in the next verse, them unto us by his Spirit. For the Spirit searcheth all things, yea, the deep things of God. So, we're going to take a look now at some of the measurements to get an idea how big this golden city is, or heaven, before we take our little tour of it. Now here the artist has it pictured as a pyramid or a mountain, and it's 1,500 miles high and long and wide. And if you put it down on top of Europe, it will cover that much space, most of Western Europe. If you dropped it on Southeast Asia, it would go all the way here in the darkened line. You can see all the way from Thailand over to the Philippines there, Manila, and then all the way down to past Singapore and Indonesia there. So there's a tremendously big city. It will cover the whole Southeast Asian Indian subcontinent here. Now if you figure there's about 800 million people living in India at the moment, and that's just one layer on the bottom there. If it was 1,500 miles high, you can imagine how many people could fit in there. In fact, it could house all the people who have ever lived. Here we have it in North America. You can see how big it is here, all the way from Florida to Mexico, bottom of Saskatchewan there to Montreal. So in other words, it's about half the size of continental USA. Well, here the artist gave us an actual scale model compared to planet Earth, how big it is. There is the beautiful golden city, 1,500 miles high. So if you were up from its top and it had landed over in what is now the Pacific, if it landed over outside of Japan there, you'd be able to see nearly 4,000 miles. So from there you'd be able to see Alaska, Canada, half of Russia, all of China, East India, and all of Southeast Asia and the ASEAN countries. So it's about 750,000 stories high. So there is plenty of room for everybody there. That would be enough room to have, if you had 23.5 billion people in there, you could have still 25 square miles per person. Or for a family of 5, that would be a 125 square mile ranch. Bigger than any ranch on Earth at the moment. Or if you prefer your area cubed, you could have 32 acres with a mile-high skyscraper with 32 one-acre apartments on each floor. So it is quite big. Another way to get an idea how big it is about the same size as the moon. Well, a little smaller, it could fit in the moon. Here we have a shot of the moon, and what we're going to do now, just to get an idea how big a city like New Jerusalem or heaven would be compared to it, we're going to put it inside there to get an idea. There is about how big it is compared to the moon. The beautiful golden city. Well, we know there's also a wall outside of the city made out of very precious stones like diamonds and topaz. 12 different precious stones, each one 2 stories high. Altogether, the 12 of these stones are 25 stories high, going about 6,000 miles all around the city. "18 feet thick." Well, if you consider that the Great China Wall is only about 25 feet high and 1,500 miles long, you'll see that this is quite a wall. Here's a shot of the China Wall right here, the Great Wall of China. Well, and it says that on the east there was 3 gates, and on the west there was 3 gates, and on the north and on the south. So there's 12 altogether, and each gate was made out of a pearl. Famous gates of pearl, the pearly gates. It says there was an angel in each one guarding it. And of course, outside of the wall, there will be a beautiful new earth too. So even outside of heaven, there will be a new earth, which will be very heavenly. Well, here's a large angel on top of one of the pearls, the gates. Well, here's a big angel here for one of the walls, and he says enter, so I guess it's okay. So what we're going to do is head in now. Yes, and here we are. This must be heaven. We're beginning our walking tour. Let the bells ring. We're in heaven. Well, the first thing the artist pictured here was a big heart to remind us how important love is. That love is really, well, it says in the Bible that God is love. He that loveth not knoweth not God. So it's very, very important. And all these people who have died and come back to tell about their experience, the first thing they all describe, more or less, is this immense feeling of love, overpowering feeling of love, or a being of light that it just emanates with such love. And so the way the artist drew it here is just to draw a big heart to remind us that that's the first thing you'll notice at this city, the city of love. You see that little road down there with those people walking in. And through that little heart gate there. Well, in any hotel or exposition and things in this world, we usually have some type of reception center. So here we are at the reception center of heaven as they file in, and see there's a couple of big angels there as they check in. Well, in this world we have telephone books and yellow pages and directories and things. So here we are in heaven at the directory. Of course, these people who have had after-death experiences, they say that usually a loved one would come to meet them to show them around and things, or a relative who was passed on. But here, you could also look up their address to see where they're located, in case they're not one of the ones who come to meet you, or if there's somebody else you want to meet, like a great Bible hero, Moses, or Elijah, or Daniel, or anybody. Just look where their mansion's located here in the directory. And inside the city, there is a river, a pure river of water of life, clear as crystal, proceeding out of the throne of God and of the Lamb. And in the midst of the street of it, on either side of the river, on both sides of the river, was there the tree of life, which bare 12 different kind of fruits, and yielded her fruit every month. So you don't have to wait for several months to get your crop. You get one every month, 12 different kind of fruit in the same tree. And the leaves of the tree were for the healing of the nations. So apparently outside there are nations that need some type of healing. River of Life boat rides. Here we are inside at the River of Life. And don't worry if you don't have any tickets or coupons. It's the City of God and He's already paid the price. So come on up the River of Life for a magical boat ride. Here we are taking a little cruise. As you can see, we don't even have paddles or oars here. Don't need it here, it can just float along. The people living here will all have their new bodies and they'll be able to fly, and just like Jesus. You can see these buildings are not just made out of 2x4s and square or rectangular or whatever. They're all different materials, shapes and sizes. Here we are passing under one of those trees. Well, normally when we picture Jesus, we picture him as he was here on earth with darker hair. But it says in the Bible that after he died and went up to heaven, that the description that's given of him, it says his hairs were as white as wool, and he had a golden girdle from his paps down to his feet. So this is the way he looks now, the new look. And he said, "In my Father's house are many mansions. I go to prepare a place for you, that where I am, there ye may be also." So if you realize that he made the world, the whole world, in 6 days, and he's been gone now almost 2,000 years, you can imagine that he's got quite a place prepared for those that love him. Well, in this world we have exhibitions and things, world fairs, which are good ways to learn about things. And here the artist has drawn some exhibits and things, so that it's showing how that in heaven we'll still be learning, and why just sit in front of a chalkboard and some class when you can have a lot of interesting and exciting ways to learn about the mysteries of the universe. Okay, we're going to go in and check out a few now. Here is a big one here, all about crystals. It's the crystal exhibit. Everything you always wanted to know about every type of crystal and how they work and basic structure of the universe and things. Now if you consider this building here, how tall it is, when you look down at that wall, you realize if that wall is 25 stories high, then this building must be humongous. Next, we're at the House of Lights, the history and nature of lights. Come and see a real heavenly light show. Watch every color in the spectrum, every hue and shade, and change shapes, and you'll see a light show like you'll never see in any planetarium here. The whole building just changes color. Here's where you learn all about light. Well, any kind of a TV or communicator will be at least three-dimensional. So there's a three-dimensional TV here in heaven. Here's a popular exhibit. The Cultural Dishes of All Ages, Food Museum. History of food. All through history, all the different dishes and countries and things and the type of foods they had. You could go and taste Babylonian food, Egyptian food, Chinese, any kind you want. You can go back and taste manna, what it was like they found in the desert. Of course, with our new bodies, we won't have to eat anymore. Just like Jesus, when he came back from the dead, he ate to show that he could, but didn't. We won't have to eat to maintain life. Of course, all the art in heaven will be very beautiful, inspiring, and uplifting, and won't be like some of this modern art now where there's just like splotches of ugliness and profanity. Of course, the same with the music. The music will be so beautiful and heavenly and uplifting and inspiring. Kind of music that will build you up and not knock you down, like a lot of this horrible noise they call music today, the rock and stuff like that. Just like some of the music we have in this show. Here's the genealogy exhibit. Go back and examine your roots, your great-great-grandfathers, all the way back. The records are there, just like for Jesus and stuff, all his ancestors and stuff, Mark right in the Bible. And we all connected to Adam and Eve one way or another, and the records are there if you want to check. Family trees. Well, here's the Truth Pavilion, where you can go back and ride the time beam through time and check out any of the great historical events that you may have read about, but different countries have different versions of these same events, but you can go back and watch the real events, exactly what did happen, what they really said and did. Here's a cultural tower. All races and colors, folk music, arts and crafts. In Jesus, everyone, all are one. And of course, on the top of this cultural tower, a beautiful observatory where you can look out through the clear gold walls to the beautiful new earth outside. Well, let's use our X-ray eyes right now and look inside the cultural tower and see what's going on. Well, it looks like they're having some kind of a dance. And you'll notice that in the last even 2,000 years since Jesus was here, and even before that, there's been a lot of believers from every continent, from every age, down through time. So there'll be quite a variety of people out here. There won't just be your average American type up here. Here's the Power of God exhibit. Here you can learn all about how things are powered in the universe. Jesus said, all power is given unto me in heaven and in earth. You can watch atomic energy demonstrations. How watch the atom being split without any danger whatsoever. Because God knows how to do it just perfectly, not like some of these accidents here on Earth, Chernobyl, 3 Mile Island, and here we are, the history and science of life. Animals, bugs, germs, etc. Learn all about them. And sometimes on television you'll notice they speed up a flower and you can watch it sort of grow on the camera. Well, watch a real flower grow here before your eyes, or watch a tree develop and the fruit bloom. And here we have a family. It looks like they're having a nice picnic. fountain. I guess some of the fountains up here will actually shoot out light. Here we have a scale model of the solar system. An actual scale model that goes round and round. All these little planets and things, where you can see how they're not crashing into each other, and how the whole universe really is under the perfect order and synchronization. Some people call it the harmony of the stars, or the music of the spheres. Anyway, here's where you learn all about it. Also showing how that in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth, and it didn't just happen by some Big Bang theory or some other nonsense. And here we have the creation exhibit. Go back and watch the actual creation of the world. And God made the world in 6 days. Or you could go back and watch Adam and Eve in the garden. Here we are now, back to the garden. And just like the animals were so friendly in the Garden of Eden, even communicating or talking with man, they weren't eating each other like they were after the flood when man had to eat meat. So once again, in the new heaven, in the new earth, the animals will be very friendly, and will be no more killing or destroying, he says, in all my holy mountain. Of course, in heaven, they do have clothes, just like most of the angels and spirits that people have seen from the other side. They're usually dressed in white. Even those described in the Bible, like Elijah coming back from the mountain and things like this to see Jesus. And it seems to be a type of almost gossamer gown, not quite almost see-through, not so much to hide, but more to accentuate. The clothes of heaven. Well, Jesus said, in my Father's house are many mansions. And right now what we're going to do is to take a look at some of these possible heavenly mansions. As you can see, there's mansions on the side there, going up the walls, the clear golden walls. Well, the artist drew them a little extra clear here, but they are golden walls. You can see the mansions going up the side, 1,500 miles straight up. So we're going to look at some heavenly ones here. Well, here's a crystal mansion over here in the corner. Beautiful crystal mansion. Of course, I'm sure there'll be all kinds of shapes and sizes. Even in this world, people have different types of decor they put in their living rooms and things, different tastes, and of course in heaven there'll even be different rewards. Some people will have bigger or smaller mansions and things, but I'm sure that even the most modest will be quite spectacular compared to anything in this world. So many beautiful mansions, and what a view you'll have over the golden walls of the beautiful new earth out there, where I'm sure we'll have lots of work to do. We're looking on the side now of one of these mansions. You can see it seems to be almost transparent, this type of gold material that so many of the things are made out of here in heaven. You can see there's different rooms and things where people are busy and different activities. Oh, it looks like some friends are popping over in this people's mansion. Well, here we are now, flying overhead, looking down. Seems like there's a swimming pool in this mansion. I guess if you really want a swimming pool, you could ask the Lord. He'll give you one. Well, here we are now, looking at a layout, different rooms and things. You can see there was a living room and perhaps a dining or a meeting area. All these different areas were. There's so much to do in these big mansions, where we'll really be home at last. Here we are now on a balcony. Looking out through the golden walls at a sunset. Of course, it says in the city that there will be no need of the sun, for this is the city of God, and it's lit up 24 hours a day and have all the heat and everything we need and our new bodies, and we will have no need of the sun. But of course, the people on the new earth, on the outside, will sure appreciate it, and they'll probably still need it, and it does make a good decoration. It says, I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from God out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. So it'll be coming down, we know when it comes. The beautiful golden city of God, coming down from space somewhere. It even talks about this crystal sea. I guess here the artist pictured the crystal sea around it, almost like some type of force field or something. Just like the seas in this world actually are sort of quite round too. We would probably need something to protect it, traveling through space. The Bible says, the kings of the earth will bring their glory and honor into it, and the gates of it will not be shut at all by night. So although there's no night inside the city, outside there'll still be day and night. It's like usual, and the kings and the people on the earth, apparently these nations outside, are going to be very happy in their condition, and they'll be bringing like gifts or tithes and offerings into the city to show their appreciation. I guess it says the leaves of the tree are for the healing of the nations, so I guess that'll be part of our job there in some way, is to work with these people there. Well, here we are, outside of the city now, looking in at the beautiful golden walls. You can see the mansions there going up along the side, and so we're going to take a look around at some of the various sights and things on the beautiful new earth. There will be no more sea, John says, no more oceans, but there will be lakes, and rivers, and streams on the beautiful new earth outside. So if you consider now that so much of the world is covered with water, was it 2/3 of it, I think? Once that is removed, can you imagine how much more room there will be even for people on the outside of the new earth, let alone on the inside? On the walls of the city alone, on the inside, you could house up to 500 billion people, which is a lot more than all the people who ever lived in this world already. And there'll be no more curse on the new earth. It says there'll be no more curse like the Garden of Eden, when the curse came and it started to be hard to have children for Eve, and so childbearing will be a breeze, and there'll be no more severe frost, cold, like real severe weather, weeds, and all these pests like mosquitoes and these bugs that bother the crops and things, and scorpions, snakes, and things like this. They'll all be removed, all these devil's pests. And it'll be so heavenly, you could even sleep in the forest if you wanted to, and not worry about freezing or anything bad. Well, we know that there will be nations and things, but there won't be anything polluting or destroying in all my holy mountain, so there won't be any filthy, dirty cities. So here we're going to look at an artist's conception of one of these heavenly villages or communities or small towns. Well, in the center here, the artist pictured a coliseum where you have different events and things. I don't think we'll be burning any atheists at the stake or anything like that. Here we have a music bowl, swimming pool, park for the kiddies. There's a Goodmington court. Down here we still call it badminton, but of course this is in the future. And outside of that community center, you have the houses and things. And outside of the houses, I guess there would be farms and things to grow food. Of course, I guess some of the supplies could be brought in from the city or whatever, or be flown into this central area if needed be. Well, here we are now. I'm going to just fly around and take a look at the new Earth and some of the sights and sounds. Well, you can see that people seem to be quite busy out here on the new Earth. The people pictured with halos here would be the people who live in the city, and the others are the people who live, you could call them the New Worldlings if you want. And there's one of the girls. It says, whether it's literal or symbolic, I don't know, but there's one of those leaves and helping people there. And there's some horses. It says we're going to have animals in heaven too. And it even mentions horses, white horses, actually that can fly. So if you've never had room for horses, well, in heaven, you should certainly be able to have them there. And of course, we'll have a lot of teaching and retraining people to do, the kings of the earth and things. A lot of retraining. There won't be any more, automobile factories, bomb factories, things like this. Nothing will hurt or destroy in all my holy mountain. The people will be very happy and respectful of their condition. Perfect peace and plenty for all.
Science does its wonders too, but nothing like what we will do. We'll walk through walls, we'll never die. The speed of thought will fly. Miracles do in our heavenly bodies of light. Outside this world is waiting so much more than either you or I have ever
possible mansions and exhibits, and we've looked even at the New Earth, had a little trip out there. Now you may wonder, is there anything left that we haven't checked out while we're on our tour of heaven? Well, we may wonder what's up near the very top. Of course, this being the city of God, it'd be reasonable to assume that's where God lives, and that's where Jesus lives. So we're going to go up now and pay him a little visit. In our new bodies, of course, we can fly, or we could hop in an airplane or a UFO, or any way we want to get up there, but we're just going to go in this gondola and kind of levitate it as we head up. Well, if you traveled 50 miles an hour for 30 hours straight without stopping, then you'd finally get to the top. 1,500 miles straight up. Anyway, they're getting near the top now. And this is the administration level of heaven, showing that everything is under perfect control, all of the balance of nature, not too many males or females being born, and also the stars aren't crashing into each other. Everything is under perfect control, except for man, of course, and soon he'll be straightened out. So I guess with so many billions being able to live here, you'll at least need an appointment, and the angel here says you may pass, so I guess it's okay. Here we are outside the palace of the King of Kings. Jesus' heavenly home. Beautiful gardens and flowers outside. We'll go in now. There's Jesus sitting on a chair. It looks almost like a throne. And there's some people gathered around. Even in the Old Testament, apparently, there was many sessions, almost like court sessions, where different beings or people would come, or spirits would come to present ideas on how to handle a situation on earth with certain kings and things. And the Lord would say, okay, you go and handle it this way. And they would. And just like here, some people saying, well, people on the new earth need help. And Jesus says, okay, well, go help them. So from way up here, you've got a view of the new earth that's almost 4,000 miles long. Not to mention space and other things you can see from here. The headquarters of God, where he will live forever. Oh, some kids playing near the throne. Well, we've checked out the very top, and we're going to go down and see some of the things before the show's over that we may have missed. We're way back down now at the exhibition level. With the curse being removed and the animals being friendly and even communicating and not killing each other or us killing them anymore, there'll be absolutely no more danger. So, and of course, in this world, it seems, no matter if you go camping or what you do, there's always something that seems to get in the way, whether it's bloodsuckers in the water or some kind of pest or mosquitoes or whatever. But here, there's nothing like that to worry about anymore. Now here's the prayer tower. This is one thing we haven't checked out yet. Now in this world, at the present time, we have communication companies, satellite companies, telephone companies, and as our main means of communication. In the world to come, it'll be more like prayer, or almost like ESP. We'll be in closer communication to God, even sort of like what the angels are now, hearkening into the voice of His Word. And here's the prayer tower where we learn all about it. Nursery and child training. A giant carousel going round and round. Everything you always wanted to know about the proper way to bring up children. And inside that, of course, is a nursery. So we're going to go in now and take a little peek at the heavenly nursery. Well, lots of little children and helpers to take good care of them, teaching them lots of good things, singing and dancing. Sure will be a lot of fun for the kiddies in heaven. Well, here's Merlin's magic hat. Flying saucer rides, just like sort of almost in a supermarket now. Sometimes you can go in and put a coin in and get a little flying saucer ride for the kiddies. Well, here's some rides for the kiddies in heaven. The real McCoy. Just like Ezekiel talking about a wheel within a wheel flying through the sky. And in different places it talks about chariots of the Lord flying in the heavens and things. So here we have flying saucer rides. Sometimes in this world you may say, well, why was there a big earthquake? So many people died, maybe somewhere in South America or wherever, and how could the Lord let this happen? And, well, if you realize what a beautiful place the Lord has prepared for us, you realize that they are much better off. And also, you wonder if there's so many people who die at once, and who are going to be with Jesus, and a good way to transport them would actually be some kind of a vehicle or saucer or something to take them at once. Well, here's the clothing building. You can see all of the history and development of clothing, right from Adam and Eve when there wasn't any, to all the kinds in between, right up to the heavenly type of clothing that they have here in heaven. Style shows. Here's a beautiful exhibit, the Cathedral of Love. God is love, it says. Love is of God. Here you can learn all about pregnancy, child development, actual childbirth show. See the real thing. New mother every show. Of course, with the curse being removed, having a baby is really no danger at all. Not even a bother, hardly. Like in the Bible it says, be fruitful and multiply. So here you don't have to worry, of course, about overpopulation or anything. You'll never... Even in this world, we don't have to worry about that. The Lord will always take care of His own, but sure no shortage of space. Well, let's take a peek inside the Cathedral of Love now and see what's going on today. Oh, there's a happy new mom. Their baby, born in heaven. World of water, all about water, how important water is. Even the Word of God, the Bible, is referred to as like water to show us how necessary it is. And at this exhibit, you could even ride the water slides. Here you can learn about every kind of sound there ever was. Talk about a sound studio. So much to learn in heaven. Well, one good thing about heaven is you don't have to worry about terrorists setting bombs or thieves breaking in and stealing or anything like this. Everything's under perfect control. Here on the bottom it says security center. It seems like the angels have most of the charge of the security there. And even in this world here, we have guardian angels that watch over us. The Lord gives each of us a guardian angel. Well, are you written in that Lamb's Book of Life? Are you a citizen of that city already? Have you received your passport, Jesus, into your own heart to be able to pass its portals of pearl in that wonderful day when the city comes to earth? Well, all you have to do is ask Him into your heart right now. Here we have a prayer, a very short little prayer which we're all going to pray together. If you'd like to pray out loud, together along with me, as we read this little prayer, then you'll be sure that you'll be coming too. Okay, if you'd all like to just pray this little prayer along with me. Dear Jesus, I believe that you are the Son of God and that you died for me. I now ask you to please forgive me for all the wrong I've done, and to please come into my heart and fill me with your love and give me your free gift of eternal life. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Well, if you've prayed that prayer, then He's come in your heart and He'll never leave. And you'll be sure that you will be going to heaven now. Here's a couple here. They had an accident on their way home, driving a car. Fortunately, they had Jesus in their hearts too, so they had nothing to worry about. Sudden death, sudden glory. Of course, we know where we're going to go when we die. And after we go up to be with Jesus in the rapture, when He comes back for us, and we'll be going to the biggest party ever thrown, lasting well over a month. People call it the marriage supper of the Lamb, and it's here where we'll be with all of our loved ones and our departed relatives who believed as well in Jesus, and all the saved who ever lived will be here in our new glorious bodies to be with Jesus forevermore. Several years ago there was a royal wedding in England there, but of course this is the real royal wedding, and the King of all kings gets married to His bride, us who believe in Him. And here, at the marriage supper also is when the rewards will be handed out. Here's one lady getting her crown of life. Talks about people getting a crown, and also mansions and things like this. Also it mentions a white stone that has a name on it that nobody knows except he who receives it. So we'll be getting a white stone as well. It'll be a wonderful time when the bridegroom gives his bride the gifts. Here's one little boy here, getting his reward. He's getting his stone, his crown. See the people looking on. Well, here's one couple looking off into some far distant planet and solar system and saying, well, who knows, after all the wrongs that ever were are righted on this world, and after all the nations are healed and everything made right and restored to its original perfection, well, who knows that there'll be other worlds to conquer, or other worlds to populate, or other worlds to help in some way. Of course, eternity is a long, long time, and we'll never be bored. Here's a parting shot of the beautiful new earth with no more sea and heaven. And thank you for coming to Pictures of Paradise. Hope you enjoyed it. We're going to close now with this beautiful heavenly song.